One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can everybody please remain standing for 1 minute for the 9/11 victims? Thank you very much.
Can we also bow our heads for the assassination of Charlie Kirk? He passed away today. Yeah, he got shot at an event. 31-year-old influencer who goes to colleges and talks to college kids. He got assassinated today.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hess. Here. Councilman Jackson.
Yeah.
Councilman Jackson.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Here.
Councilman Marcy.
Here.
Councilwoman Patton. Council President Randolph Sharp. Here. Mayor Roach. Here, he's here. Yeah, but technical difficulties. Yeah, that's the here. Next.
Welcome back, Cheryl. Sorry for your injury.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good to be back.
Okay, next up, entertain a motion for payment of bills, please.
Make a motion that the bills have been properly audited and signed, be approved for payment.
And a second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess. Yes. Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Marcy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
All reports will be filed and are available in their respective offices for review and will be included with the minutes. Tax collector's report, 2025, August 2025, sewer report for August 2025, treasury report, and engineer report. The second engineer's report for December 2025. First reading ordinance 2025-06, amending chapter 229-1, indecency, damage property. Can you make a motion, please?
Make a motion for ordinance 2025-06 be adopted as read on first reading, published according to law, and posted at the Borough Hall, with the second reading being held at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
And second, please.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess. Yes. Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Marcy.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
First reading ordinance 2025-07, amending code chapter 160-9, certification of inspections required. Entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion for ordinance number 2025-07, certification of inspection required, be adopted as read on first reading, published according to law, and posted in the Borough Hall with the next, with the next reading and our next regularly scheduled meeting.
And second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess. Yes. Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Marcy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
First reading ordinance 2025-08, amend code chapter 150-10B, certified certificate of occupancy, Entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion for ordinance number 2025-08, amending the certificate of occupancy code, be adopted as read on first reading, published according to law, and posted in the Borough Hall, with the second reading being held at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
And second, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hess. Yes. Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Marcy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
First reading ordinance 2025-09, amend code 150 fees, certificate of occupancy. Entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion motion for ordinance 2025-09, amending the codes for chapter 150 fees on COs, to be adopted as read on first reading, published according to law, posted in the Borough Hall with the next reading being held at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
And second, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
First reading, ordinance 2025:10, amend code, chapter 150-28, inspections for certificate of occupancy. Entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion for first reading of ordinance 2025-10, amending chapter 150 inspections for certificate of occupancy, be adopted for first reading, published according to law, posted in the Borough Hall, the next reading being held at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
And second, please.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
First reading, ordinance 2025:11, amending code, chapter 250-2, notice of violations, subsequent violations. Entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion for ordinance 2025-11, amending code, chapter 250-2, notice of violation, be adopted as read on first reading, published according to law, and posted in the Borough Hall with the second reading being held at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
And second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
First reading, ordinance 2025:12, amend code, chapter 105-12, fees for certificate inspections, issuance, and denials. Entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion for first reading of ordinance 2025-12, amending the code, chapter 105-12, fees for certificate inspections and issuance or denial, be adopted as read on first reading, published according to law, posted in the Borough Hall for the next reading at our second reading being held at our next regular scheduled meeting. Oh, I'm out, I can see it.
No, no. And second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton. Yes. Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
First reading, ordinance 2025:13, amend code, chapter 160-28, certificate of occupancy inspection. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for first reading of ordinance 2025-13, amending chapter 160-28, certificate of occupancy, be adopted as read on first reading, published according to law, posted in the Borough Hall, with the second reading being held at our next regular scheduled meeting.
And second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
Second reading, ordinance 2025:5, parental responsibility. This time, let's open the meeting to the public. Any questions or comments regarding ordinance 2025:13? I'm sorry, 05. Seeing none, close the meeting to the public and entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion for second reading ordinance 2025-05, parental responsibility, be adopted on second reading, published according to law, and adopted on second reading and published according to law.
And second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Sharp.
Yes.
Consent agenda, the items listed below are considered routine by the Borough of Lindenwold and will be enacted upon in one motion. There will be no formal discussion of these items. If not discussion is desired, this item will be removed and the consent agenda will be considered separately.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to resolution 2025-150. was brought to my attention by the business administrator that the word amending on the title should be removed. It should just read 2025 on 150 should be changed order number 2, not amending. So I'm asking that the word amending removed from that title.
Entertain a motion for resolution 2025-146 through 150.
I make a motion for resolution agenda item, consent agenda items 2025-146 through 150,
With the change.
including the change of 150, removing the word amending, and the change order number 2, Colonial Square Drive.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Shaw.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-151, direct install.
Make a motion for resolution item 2025-151.
And a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Shaw.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-152 for refund for inspection. And entertain a motion, sorry.
Make a motion for consent agenda item 2025-152, refunds for inspection.
And a second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Shaw.
Yes.
2025, resolution 2025-153, council order.
It's a resolution authorizing an increase in the number of hours and salaries for the construction official.
Entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion for consent agenda item, I guess it's not consent agenda, for the resolution item 2025-153, increase for the construction office.
And a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lankowski.
Yes.
Councilman Morrissey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Patton.
Yes.
Council President Randolph Shaw.
Yes.
This time, we're opening the council. Councilman Morrissey.
Thank you, Mayor. The next public meeting of the Fire Commission will be Monday, September 15th, this coming Monday, at 7:30 p.m. at 801 Scott Avenue. The department responded last month to 79 calls, 14 inspections, 14 re-inspections completed. As far as the status of the new ladder truck, training is ongoing. Representatives from the manufacturer Pierce were in town this past weekend conducting some of the training. They hope to have all training on the equipment as well as driver training to be completed by the end of the month and to have it on the road available for calls. Firefighters Marion Reyes and Cooper Wells have completed their Firefighter 1 certification. New firehouse construction project. There were a number of storm drain upgrades installed on the avenue. All the old buildings have been removed from the site. Site prep work is still ongoing. Smoke alarms, as always, are available to resident homeowners for free. You only call the fire department office at 856-346-0935 to make an appointment for installation. A couple of other items of interest. The fire department commission had applied for several grants to allow hiring of full-time firefighters. There is no status update at this point, but the decision is due by the end of the month. So hopefully we'll have something favorable there. The annual fire prevention open house will be held on Tuesday, October 7th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at 801 Scott Avenue. And for many people, that'll be the first time to really get a look at the new ladder truck. And it's always a lot of activities, a lot of information given out. There's some issues with the fire department website. They're working on modifying it to include an application to join the department, as well as update the site. And they've noticed a problem with the background checks when people apply. Their existing vendor has overlooked some things and had some flaws, so they're investigating other companies. And that's all I have for you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Nance.
Thank you, Mayor. Always report for Lindenwold Public Works. Tons of trash collected, 735. Tons of recycling, 78. Bulk items collected, 275. Scrap metal picked up, 93. Concrete picked up, 5. Stumps and logs, 8. Ground maintenance, 9. Number of accidents, none. Number of injuries, none. Service calls, stoppages, 48. Service calls 48, I'm sorry. Stoppages 18, main stoppages 9, emergency calls 13, markouts 32, pump station repairs 1, trouble areas jetted 3, pump stations factored 1. Laurel Springs, there were 3 service calls, 3 stoppages, 3 emergency calls. Again, I say it every month for bulk items, I see a lot of bulk items out on the streets. You have to call. You have to call if you want your stuff picked up. You have to call and tell them you need it and get it scheduled. You can't just put it out there and think they're going to pick it up because it's not happening. Lindenwold Police Department. Total call service, 1,594. Traffic accidents, 43. Community policing, 52. Traffic enforcements and stops, 63. Criminal complaints issued by officers, 55. Traffic summons issued by officers, 47. Criminal complaints issued by citizens, 6. Traffic summons issued by citizens, 0. Traffic bureau investigations, 44. Monthly community events, there was 3 of them. We all National Night Out, Car Show, and Comfort Cup, that was all in August. For September, or no, I'm sorry, October, is the trunk or treat, which will be October 25th. Trunk or treat will start at 12 p.m. There will be a parade first, which will start at 11. You can't start the trunk or treat, no trick or treating until after the parade and all that kind of stuff. And that's all done. The library report, we have 22 new members. The summer reading program was a success. The children enjoyed the crafts, spinning the wheel, and meeting with new friends. And just the road work and closures on Linden should be done in about a month. That's put a little bit of a damper on the library because people can't get into there. Then again, our library has a lot of things for everybody to see and enjoy, and work, computers, everything else in there. So use our public library. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Council President.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. It's nice to see everyone. I'm just going to share something with you before I get started. I can't stand rumors, so I'm always going to put it out there on what's going on. So on June 10th, me and 3 other employees in our office were attacked by a mentally unstable gentleman who was also under the influence of drugs. I probably had the most serious injury out of the 3 of us, which involved my knee. I'm still under care for that. It may lead to surgery in the end. I'm not sure yet. If you guys ever been injured, you know this is a long walk with your knee, shots, PT, and all of that stuff. So I've heard some things, so I just want to clear that up, that's where I've been, trying to recover from an attack at work. So for those of you that contacted me, emailed me, prayed for me, etc., I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. So, a couple of things. A few of us were in attendance last week for the grand opening of the Lindenwold Early Childhood Center. And I'm telling you, I was blown away by that building. Just the size of it, it has turned that whole complex into a campus over here. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And I was in there, and I was just thinking that, gosh, I wish they had something like this when I was a kid, or when my daughter was a kid, because just the colors alone, you can just see children's, if you know anything about early education, sensory things are so important. And so the colors are vibrant in here. There's open spaces. There's a PT and an occupational therapy room here. Just everything about the building just ignites a young mind. the play area outside, just everything. So, great job, hats off to the school board and, the Board of Education over there. One of the things that they repeated over and over again, and they should have been very proud of this, is that they were on time, under budget, and no tax increases to the taxpayers of Lindenwold. So we, Briarwood is the architectural firm that was responsible for the building and engineering of the building. In South Jersey Business this month, they featured the Lindenwold early education system. So if you want to stop up after the meeting and take a look at it, they nicknamed the lion in the lobby the Lindy Lion after Lindenwold. So that's something that they're going around. They gave out commemorative keychains that day that had the Lindy Lion on it. So congratulations to everyone that was involved in that project. Today is National Worldwide Suicide Day. It's a day that is recognized for those that have troubles in this area where suicide ideation and just other issues that are struggling in this area of mental health. Camden County has named this Suicide Prevention Day today, and also the week, September 8th through the 14th. On October the 5th at 10 a.m., they ask everyone to wear teal or purple, and if you have lost a loved one, or a survivor of someone that has taken their life, it's entitled Out of Darkness. They'll meet at 10 a.m. There'll be a walk in honor of them. So I'll have these up here as well if you're interested in attending that. Every year our office receives an email from the state of New Jersey from the Treasury Department. And there are about $6.3 billion in unclaimed assets, such as forgotten bank accounts, unpaid life insurance benefits, and utility deposits that you may not have known you're even entitled to. The state has to put it out. There's a website here that you can go on and check. I went in and it's real simple. You put in your name, your address, it brings it up. I didn't have anything, but I want to tell you it was pages and pages and pages of people from Lindenwold that have unclaimed property. So you can go in, check for yourself or a loved one, your mom, your dad, whomever, and just to check and see if you have any assets that are unclaimed. So they have to do this every year. So this information is there as well for you. As the mayor said, tomorrow, September 11th, flags all over the United States are going to have mass in memory of 2,996 deaths that caused that death. Over 3,000 injuries. Some are still facing lifetime injuries that they sustained, either through breathing or cancers that have come out post 9/11 for people that have inhaled the toxic environment that was down there that day. So I just asked you, I think it's the first one started around 9 o'clock. I was actually in Jersey City the day of 9/11, right across the bridge at a meeting. And they came in the first time and they thought that a small plane had hit the Trade Center, and they said, we'll let them keep you guys posted, predators, with First Fidelity. And a few minutes later, about 15 minutes later, they came in and they said, something is definitely going on in New York City. Another plane has been hit. We tell you that, we need to leave now because they're closing the tunnels and the bridges and everything. I was with Steve Wise. We got a car and we came down the turnpike going southbound. Northbound was closed to cars, and all that were flying down northbound were Black Hawk helicopters with guys with like AR-15s in them, and they were flying so low that I actually saw the face of the people that were in the helicopters flying down. My sister worked for New Jersey Port Authority up there, and she was scheduled to go to a meeting in the trade building that morning, but someone stole her car. And she had to go to the police station first, and she called me up, and she was freaking out, and she had to get a cab, she had to go to the police department, she was going to be late for the meeting, and she's going on and on and on. And when we got on the turnpike, I tried to call her, but because they had knocked down the tower on the World Trade Center, all you got was like every time you tried to make a phone call, so I couldn't get in contact with her. I didn't know whether she was there. And it wasn't until 2 hours later when we got back down this way, my husband finally reached her on the phone, and when she went to go to the train station was closed because of everything that was going on. And there are thousands of stories like that. about that day, that people got up late. Some people, it was their first day there, and they died that day. So I just ask you to just keep people in prayer tomorrow, the families that are impacted by this. Yes, it was many years ago, but it doesn't change the circumstances. So just, give a moment of silence tomorrow around 9:05, because I think that's around the time that the first plane hit one of the towers. Also a reminder that the anchor checks, are rebates that we receive from the state of New Jersey, renters and homeowners. The applications are due October the 1st. If you have received a letter, you don't have to do anything unless your checking account information has changed. This also applies for the senior freeze if you're 65. I think my coworker told me that you apply for both of them and then they make a decision on which one you qualify for. You can go to the nj.gov website for further information on that. That's it. So that's all I have. Thank you. You're welcome.
Councilman Funkowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we're talking about the Early Learning Center. It's a real nice occasion. It's our favorite new saying. Okay.
Yes.
Constructed on time, under budget, and no increase to the taxpayer. That's our favorite word. Also, the extra $2 million that were under budget are going to be put aside since it's already bonded for future projects. I've been looking back at people have been asking a lot of questions, about like all these things that are going to government. And I remember Congressman John Lewis said that on the local level, it's up to us to tell everybody to educate. That's how you help our democracy. So one of the things that familiarized me is the Federal Reserve. Now, the Federal Reserve is a central bank of the United States. It's there for a stable monetary financial system. They dictate monetary policy, and they supervise and they regulate the banks. They maintain the financial system and provide financial services to the United States government and other institutions. Now, the monetary part of it, that is the interest rates, okay? And usually they only jump at quarter of a point at a time, which we've heard in things that somebody wants to jump with, the White House wants to jump with so many points. And the reason that would be bad is because you can imagine how many people at one time would be going, to refinance and everything like that. So that's just one of the reasons that we heard about, and it's an independent institution, and it should remain that way. And it was set that way for a reason. I mean, one of our forefathers, Thomas Jefferson, said, eternal riches is the price of liberty. And these guys, they knew all about that. That's why the Constitution is in place like that. Okay, so not one party government or one person can run all of it. It's a whole system. It's great democracy, of course. But anyway, we've heard a lot about there's three keys. There's three keys to the central bank. There's the Board of Governors. Okay, there's 12 reserve banks, and there's the Federal Open Market Finance Committee. And one of those banks, one of the governors, her name is Lisa Clark. And she's just a brilliant woman, okay? She has a PhD in Berkeley. She's a professor at Michigan State, Harvard. She was appointed in 2022 in the Obama administration. She grew up in Georgia. She went to Spelman College, had a BA in philosophy and physics. Okay, she's also a Truman Scholar. Okay, she went to Oxford University and became Spelman's first Marshall Scholar. Okay, and she has a second degree in politics and economics. She specializes in macro economics and international economics. She's the first Black woman elected to the Board of Governors. Okay, remember that's an independent board. Okay, she also worked for the Department of Treasury. But I mean, here's the difference between having somebody who's competent like that. I mean, this woman is just so impressive, and our democracy is so important. I just can't see taking somebody from Fox News and putting them on that board. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
History of Lindenwold show and tell, community leaders, business associates, and society members will show a family heirloom or a personal treasure and tell about it. Members of the audience are welcome to participate. That's going to take place on Saturday, September 27th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. here in Borough Hall. Step back in time and relive history like never before. This event is free, event open to all. Feel free to come in and share any story that you have. That's it for me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson.
Thanks, Mayor. First, real quick, to piggyback off Councilwoman Hess, I literally just scheduled a pickup for both items tomorrow on the website. It's very easy. You can go to the borough's website, put in your address information. They ask you what you're putting out to pick up, and it's scheduled. So I will put my stuff out tonight, and then we'll pick up tomorrow. Another thing, unfortunately, we had to, per the police department, we were advised to cancel the September 19th move due to a conflict with the high school football game. I believe issues with parking and security and so forth. So unfortunately that has been canceled and will not be rescheduled. Also, Camden County Commissioners at the Job Fair 2025, September 12th, 2025 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This will be at the Cherry Hill Mall, Nordstrom Corridor, 2000 New Jersey 38, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Also, we have a senior health fair and annual flu shot program launch. This will be Wednesday, October 8th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Forum Wedding and Catering Hall, 109 North Blackhorse Pike, Blackwood, New Jersey. This is free for Camden County residents over 60. Get your flu shot, COVID vaccine is available, senior services fair, giveaways, live music, door prizes, box lunch, healthy senior activities. Also for our seniors, there is an older adult home modification program. Older adults in our community can age safely and remain in their homes through a new home modification program thanks to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development grant awarded to the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey. How it works: after initial phone screening to determine eligibility, an occupational therapist will conduct an in-home assessment to determine what, if any, modifications are necessary to improve safety. Modifications will then be implemented by a qualified contractor under the supervision of the occupational therapist. Eligibility requirements include must be the age of 62 or older, the household must be considered low income, participants must reside in Camden County, Burlington, or Gloucester County. That's all I have to do.
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know, I heard today that those COVID vaccines were released today.
Oh,
So, all right, at this time, we're going to open the meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and please don't forget to sign in before you leave. Yes, Mr. McGill.
John McGill, 30 Columbia Avenue. Back again about my favorite house in the neighborhood. The trash is starting to accumulate in the front yard. The house at 18 Columbia Avenue, which the back of that house faces the side of 405, had tree work and bushes removed. So now we get to look at their lovely backyard too, because now you can see it from the street. That 405 is the only house that parks cars on Stone Road. Now, I understand that it's not illegal, but they are the only cars that park on Stone Road. They park with the passenger side tires over the curb on the lawn, which is illegal. It's also creating a safety hazard getting out of that intersection. The house at the corner of 18 Columbia and Stone Road has a large bush on the corner. And then they park there, so you can't see until you get your nose partway out into the street to know whether it's clear or not to pull out. It's also creating a safety hazard for anyone that walks up Stone Road, because now this forces them to walk out in the middle of the street around the cars, no place on the curbside. A resident of that house was standing between the property lines of 18 and the house next to it. A resident of that house told me he came out and saw him there and said something to him, "Why are you standing there staring in my window?" He said, "Go in and mind your own business or I'll come back and get my gun." We are up to here. Something more than what's been done needs to be done with that house.
Did you call it in?
Did I call it in? I did not witness it, so I can't call it in. I can't.
Which part of it?
And that's
You
what you're
did
saying.
see the cars, right, parked on the street?
Yes.
You could call that in, the garbage in the back, you could call in, and they could start, I mean, you just wait to come to a council meeting, you've already let a couple of weeks go.
And I called cars about the trash in the past, and nothing got done. So I came here to complain. That's why I come here to complain, because I called and nothing happened.
405
I'm on, is it 18, is it 405?
405 Stone Road is the house.
We'll check with the police department.
And then that leads to one other thing that I'd like to say. Last council meeting, things got a little heated here between some of the residents in town. I think part of that comes from the borough's hands-off approach on code enforcement. It pits neighbor against neighbor. I think it's time the borough starts being proactive and enforcing the codes that they have on the book. It should not be a neighbor's job to rattle on a neighbor. You have code enforcement, they ride around the town, I see them come up my street, I know who they are. And they don't do anything about codes that I see clearly, obviously, from just driving up the street. I understand they can't go in people's backyards, but when you're driving up the street and you see a car that started out as tan, but is now green, has one of those Bowflex things in front of it, with trash cans in front of that hasn't moved in 15 years. It's time the borough starts being proactive and stop pitting neighbor against neighbor. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. McGill. Well, I will say this, the code enforcement, I believe, do a good job. They have a lot to do in this town. You can't be everywhere. It has to be, some things have to be reported. I agree. Listen, let me finish. I have called on these same kind of cars that you're talking about, but if they're registered and they're insured, there's nothing that they can do about it. I had a car around the corner that looked like it was in a stop car thing, all smashed up on the front, but when they went around there, it was nothing they could do about the car, because it was properly registered and insured. There was nothing they could do about it. So everything is not always what it seems. I think sometimes, and I wasn't here last week, so I don't know, last month, so I don't know what was going on, but I do see what goes on in my neighborhood, and sometimes people want you to go out there like with all guns blazing, and there is a process to it. There's a process to it. For a reason, due process. I mean, we would all want that. If it was us, we want due process as well. So it's not a situation where you can just go out there and, hey, you demand, you move that. If it was that easy, everything would be done. So we do ask that there is patience in certain things. But sometimes people turn this into personal things that we can't get involved in. So, you got to know what the situation is too. It has to be investigated, and we're not going to get our guys out here getting involved in something that's personal. I had neighbors that were arguing over bamboo. Bamboo that had overgrown one yard into another yard. Well, there's a process to that. Now we have ordinances and things like that. But they wanted me to go down there with like all guns blazing and tell the guy to chop down the bamboo. It's not that easy. So there is a process, and we ask that you be patient. And if you're not getting, listen, you have Dawn's number. Dawn has my number. I'm the liaison to the office. If it's something that past that point, 405, we'll look at it again. I understand them tearing down the trees and things. I have a neighbor that just did that. I'm looking at a house now that I've never seen in 30 years because he decided to chop down all the trees and things like that. And I'm seeing something that I never saw before. So I can understand that. And especially if it's trashy or, they're not upkeeping the property. I can definitely relate to that. And remember, we're going through the same things you guys are going through. So there's no special privilege for us as well. I lived next to a house that was a mess for years. until it was sold and they cleaned the yard out. So and I have to make the same process that everybody else makes. So, we're not getting any special privileges either. I think everybody on here has a property that they wish wasn't near them or Jermaine, I know you and Linda do, I know you guys do, I know I do.
Try 326.
Well, he does, so, we're all going through it, but there is a process, and we just can't go over here and just, slap the person around and say, listen, clean, you gotta get this clean. Even if you find them, there's a court process for that. So,
30 days to abate the situation, and you have 10 days to get the violation sent to you, then you get the ticket, then you get the court date, which usually takes 2
some of them got bench warrants out on them, they just, they don't do what they're supposed to
Or
do,
they don't show up.
or they don't show up.
The problem with 405 is they're not.
They're not even supposed to be here.
They're not supposed to be there, right?
That's why I want to get.
And that's a whole nother
That's why I
problem.
want to check with the police to see where we sit with that. I'll check with the chief tomorrow.
Mr. Miguel, I spoke to you last meeting and told you I stopped. Well, I didn't stop. I rode past there and, I'll testify to that, but I seen it was disgusting. So.
I'm not exaggerating.
No, you're not exaggerating at all. And, that was my neighbor, I would be better as well. But, President has a point, it's, there's a process. And you have been coming for a while, I know.
It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Mr. McGill, in my neighborhood, we had a place that has large pool parties. And they get cited, they get warrants, they get tickets, they get arrested, and they continue to do it. It's the system right now, and hopefully it gets changed. I'm sorry to be the one to say it, but unfortunately, there's nobody else here who knows it. So I apologize, we'll look into it, I'll try my best to do what I can do to take care of the situation again. We did make progress the first time. Yes. Anyone else in public wishing to speak?
Hi, good evening, Dr. Sandberger, 811 Borough Hall. I really didn't have too much to speak about, but I came here and I have a question regarding one of the ordinances. I don't know which one it was, but the local recreation improvement grant, ones that were getting almost $90,000. Is that just going to be used exclusively at Lindenwold Park for new fitness equipment?
Yes.
And who else designed that equipment?
There's a couple of contractors, and on the top of my head, I can't remember. We did get other financing through it's a national organization. So the project itself is a little bit more than that. There's a couple of financing ways that we're doing this part. But
Now-
it is strictly for fitness. That's what we applied for, so that's what we have to use it for.
Okay, now, in the design, will they get the input from residents or who's on the committee to decide what this will look like?
I think it's already,
It's already-
yeah, the engineers already.
It's a whole thing that's purchased as one.
Oh, so it's a package?
Yes.
And we don't have input. That's one. The second is, just to piggyback on what our president had spoke about, unfortunately, the rate of suicide is not going down. Mental illness is a big problem, and the funding is being cut. But I wanted to let everybody know that there is a 1-800 number by the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's 1-800-273-8255. So if you or someone, your loved one, really needs the help, I encourage you to give them that number.
Roxanne, while you're there, you can also dial 988. That's an emergency number too for suicide.
Okay, thank you for that information.
We also have an agreement with the school for therapists too, that might be able to help people.
Now, is that for high schoolers or is that for our young adults?
Right now, it's for the school system, but we're working on trying to get it to include young adults.
Oh,
And older adults too.
oh, for
But we're
residents of
working, we're
Lindenwold.
still at the work in progress.
That's good to know.
We've been
Make sure
doing,
that I follow up with you on that.
we've been doing this for a couple of months now.
Something else that I wanted to let you know, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month as well as Ovarian Cancer Month, and I think it's important, especially that our residents of Lindenwold know that there are free screenings out there for those that are uninsured and underinsured. Several organizations in healthcare provided Cooper, Virtual, and Kennedy all have facilities where you can go for free cancer screenings. Speaking about trash, I just had an idea, because in my neighborhood, you do see it. There's this one house, every week it's like they're cleaning up something, and for the last 4 weeks, their pile has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Just a suggestion. On trash day, and I've been out there in the mornings to go to work, there's a man in a little red truck that comes by and flips open the canisters to make sure that your recyclables are really recyclables. And if it's not, he gives you a sticker. That same person that's going by, I'm pretty sure he's passed that pile several times. As a courtesy, would it be unreasonable for him to get out and maybe stick something in the door that says, because this is a transient neighborhood, people are there, there could be a rent. I don't know those people there, I have no idea who they are, but I know that trash is piling bigger and bigger and bigger every week. And he does see it, there's no way he can not see it, just a suggestion. An extra minute to get out the car, put a piece of paper there, say, call this number, so they can, yeah.
Code enforcement does it. And there's a number,
No, they don't.
also gives a number for the public works to call for.
Do you have a house number?
It's a big red sticker as well.
No, but there's a couple houses in our complex that I noticed the trash has gotten bigger and bigger.
They give the red
On
sticker.
Myrtle, and I don't see that little orange sticker there.
They
I'm
take
just,
it off. They take it off.
I
People have been taking them off, as soon as they get them out there.
don't mind saying, I'm a nosy neighbor. I know what's going on in my neighborhood.
We know.
I feel, I don't care. When I introduce myself to my neighbors, I let them know. I'm the nosy old lady, Roxanne. I'm looking out for you, and that's all together. So I need to know what's going on. So, anyway, that's just a suggestion that maybe, instead of maybe they don't know that.
When you say it's trash, you mean
Furniture.
Furniture.
Yes. It started out with a little table, then it looked like they got rid of their living room set. Big sectional, gray sectionals, got like 5 or 6 pieces. I went up there, now there's a mattress on.
I'll come through here because I'm notorious for emailing Craig, weekends, day, night mattress, somebody dumped the mattress, there's a chair over here.
You go around the corner, there's a table. You go around the corner on Elm, somebody's got bed slats out. And somebody's got a, old, smoker that's been sitting there for a
So, Roxanne, what I usually do, like one Saturday out of the month, I usually just drive around the town, just looking at stuff. I haven't been able to do that in the last couple of months because of work injury. But I usually dedicate Saturday morning on my way to the farmer's market or wherever the heck I'm going that morning. And I just try to drive different neighborhoods just to see what I see. You know what I mean?
I was just concerned with
But I
that.
haven't been down there in a while. I haven't been
Week
down there
after
in a while.
week after week. It's good that they're cleaning it out, but it's still there.
Now, do you think it's not contractors leaving it out here, it's like
No,
it's people?
it's the homeowners probably got a new set.
Actually, they usually do put stickers on that, though. I mean,
But I don't know, I haven't actually wanted to examine it.
You can't throw this out in the trash.
I just noticed that the pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So just a suggestion. Let's see, we covered that one, we covered that, we covered that.
What's your address?
Elm and Myrtle. So this side of the tracks. I don't know which family that's.
Yeah.
National Hispanic Heritage Month begins September 15th through October 15th, just FYI. And that $2 million surplus, when you said it be set aside for future projects, is it just school-related projects or anything in Lindenwold?
School related.
School related, okay. I think that's it for now.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Anyone else?
Have a great day. Me too.
Sure.
Alfonso Pena, Aston Martin. You guys were talking about actually the fitness course. Because you said that was a prefab, completely done. When I did research on it, a lot of it was actually, I thought it would be a spot where we'd have community engagement. There were multiple projects on there that were all just community art. This is an exact quote. They're designing fitness courses and kinetic art pieces to showcase the value and inspiration born from connecting the power of arts with the joy of wellness in the community.
That's not what this is.
This is not the National Fitness Campaign, but it's a predefined slab with 8 different things on it.
I believe
It is.
some of the money did come from that, yes, but that's not what this is.
So that's not, so it's a completely different,
Most of the money came from a different grant.
so you're not, but what's on the website is not getting billed.
Not what that is, not exactly what that says, no.
Okay, because it was kind of made out to seem like it was just like one, you said it was a prefab thing.
It's prefab design, what it is, and where it's going has to go on.
So is there just like a cost associated with the part on it? I'm saying we could just
The
like,
best bet to do is check with Public Works. They're the ones who are handling all of that. So if you want to reach out to them, Mr. Wells,
And they have the design, though?
they'll show you what it looks like.
It's fitness equipment designed to look like art.
Oh,
you said, I'm sorry, Mr. McCall, you said it.
It's made to look aesthetic.
So it does have all that.
Well, it's aesthetically.
I haven't seen it myself, I'm sorry.
It's just not like too.
I just thought that if there was art, there was a chance we'd have maybe a local artist open some type of. So if that's not the case, then okay. Another question I had was about cannabis legalization. Back in 2021, you guys said that we were opting out at the present time. We could look through the future. Any change on the stance?
We're looking at it.
You're currently looking at it? Okay, I just want to make some notes that a few of the neighbors, Gibbsburg, Summerdale, Voorhees, Gloucester,
Everybody
Berlin.
got a cannabis place here on every corner.
Say it again?
Everyone has a cannabis.
Amen. It's the only business that can actually generate tax revenue for a
It's
municipality.
generated what it's supposed to do. You look on the state's website, it's not.
Well, I mean, Voorhees did 355,000 the first year. And that was just for 3 years.
But look now, they have.
And that was their first year last year. They made 355,000. Deptford did almost 400,000 last year. And Belmar, which has partnerships with different MSOs, they actually do all different stuff. I'm just talking about just class 5 legalization. We don't have to worry about anything else. It's extra tax revenue that could really help us, I think. So, when you say you're looking into it, is that, how so?
We're discussing it with our cannabis place right now.
So you're, okay.
Until we decide what we're gonna do with it, if it's gonna come in, where it's gonna be a place where there's no kids and things like that,
100%.
then I'm all for it.
Well,
Until that point, I'm not for it, and I don't know the rest of the council is or isn't for it, but most of the places that you could put something in Lindenwold have too many kids around, and too many school buses, and school things that go on. So I have to keep on.
I would say that similar towns have the same issue. If you look at Stratford,
Some of them don't
for
care.
example. I'm sorry.
Some of them don't care. I
I
can't.
think they care about generating more tax revenue.
Right now, we
They expand the tax.
Believe it or not, Lindenwold is very, what I'm saying is, we're very fiscally responsible. We have surplus, we are in very good shape.
I understand. I just think that, I mean, if you look at the master plan, one of the main goals was defined as promoting land use policies which enhance the borough's tax base. I think this was a perfect example. We've waited to see it. I think that,
Here's one for you then. What about Arborwood? We were paying $375,000 a year to subsidize Arborwood. We are now receiving over $700,000 a year from Arborwood. That's what we talked about within the master plan.
And lower, and our police calls into that.
Exactly.
actually, I think the 2017 reexamination didn't speak to that. It spoke to the fact that you guys were moving ahead to find a developer. That never happened. So that may have happened. In the 2017 master plan.
It's been done. It's been out there, it's done.
It's called Pinewood Estates.
Yeah, it's done.
Regardless, that is a separate point to the fact of what I said. So, again, I think that we should look towards class 5 legalization. It's possible to set parameters to where it's not first come, first serve. You can selectively choose applicants based on certain procedures. If you don't want it to happen, it doesn't have to happen if the right candidates don't come forward. But if the situation for candidates to come forward is not there, it doesn't create a fair playing field. If you're speaking to one specific cannabis operator or one person, that's a conflict of interest as well. I rest my time, and I think that we should look towards expanding the tax base over here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public? Good evening, Mr. Shaw.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Good. I'll be relatively brief. I agree with you wholeheartedly, what you said earlier. Watch the tape back and see what you said. So I'm actually up here to announce our fall cleanup event. It's going to be October 4th from 10 to noon as usual. This year we're going to be doing it at Lindenwold Middle School, cleaning up all of the area around the out back. And the addition for this year is the Camden County Board of Commissioners reached out to us and asked us if they could piggyback our event and provide they call it a service fair for all of their county services: Health and Human Services, Veterans Affairs, Environmental Commission, Mosquito Commission, Parks and Events, Housing, Disabilities, and the South Jersey Land and Water Trust. We'll all be there on a county level, tabling and tenting at the event. They're also going to be providing all of the refreshments and lunch. So if you can make it October 4th, 10 for everybody, 10 to 12, Lindenwold Middle School. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, go to the meeting to the clerk.
Just really quickly, about October 4th, there is a free cancer screening event going on in Voorhees here off of Centennial Boulevard. If you'd like any information, then please contact Roxanne Berger. I'm the program manager at 856-968-7091. It's free to those who qualify, who are uninsured and underinsured, and even those that aren't insured. We will be doing mammograms, cervical, lung, oral, skin, and I'm forgetting, colorectal screenings. So if you have anybody that's interested, or if you're due and you don't have a provider, please see me. I can get you scheduled and take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Entertain a motion.
So,
And second.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.